So I originally started motorbiking back in 2014 when I bought my first bike, a Suzuki Marauder 125. I absolutely loved this bike at the time, but looking back, it was the worst thing I could have possibly bought. The whole bike was rusting through, the indicators fell off, the exhaust fell off, and then a taxi driver ran over it, and the brakes were horrendous. Eventually, when I moved to the city, I got rid of it, and then I took a few years off. Recently, I've been getting itchy feet again, and I decided it's about the right time to start biking again. So I went ahead, I booked my CBT, and it went a little bit like this. So I did my CBT, completely smashed it, piece of cake, got it out the way, and then I went on a few biking adventures, like we borrowed a monkey bike from Honda. It was a lot of fun, and we did go on a few other adventures too. But after my CBT, I did manage to try out a 650cc, and the instructor Sean convinced me that I should, give having a bigger bike a shot. So we enrolled on my direct access, we went through all the motions of doing everything and doing the training, and then basically all we had left to do was book my test and get it over and done with. Except, well, it went a little bit like this.
How was the test, Saffron?
I failed.
Oh, why is that?
I was driving on the wrong side of the road into incoming traffic.
How was the test, Saffron?
I failed.
Oh no, why?
I indicated the wrong way.
How did your test go, Saffron?
I didn't make it there.
Oh no, why not?
I couldn't find my glasses, so I couldn't take my test.
I'm sure you handled that extremely level-headed.
I handled it in a totally responsible adult way. I didn't have a meltdown at all.
How did the test go, Saf?
Well, let me tell you. I can legally ride on the road. So I guess the only thing left to do is, well, put my boots on and find a big girl bike. So this is the bike that I ended up buying. It's a 2017 SV 650, and I'm going to be completely honest, this was not my first bike. In fact, I did everything I could to try and persuade Ant that I shouldn't have this bike. I nagged, I pleaded, I begged, I really didn't want it. Originally, I really wanted a sports bike. However, Ant felt like getting a sports bike was perhaps something that I should work up to having. I purchased this bike secondhand. Luckily for me, it had already been lowered because I'm quite short anyway. There's some crash bars thrown on and there's some Oxford heated grips. However, everything else is fairly standard. So if you have any ideas for what kind of mods that I should do to it over the next 2 years, drop a comment below. So in case you didn't notice, the bike that I eventually settled on is the same bike that I actually took my test on. Now I don't just mean the same make and the same model, I mean it is the bike that I took my test on. I bought it directly from the bike school. So although I'd rode this bike before, it was always under the watchful eye of an instructor or under test conditions. So being able to go out on the open road on what is now mine, it was just very incredibly special. Little did I know that Anthony would become my new instructor.
Right, no front brake at this speed, Saf. You ready for your hill start? Riding with your missus, or your partner. Nerve-wracking. Much nicer on the back brake, innit? Oh well.
So after my first ride out, it made me realise that what I was really looking forward to was my second ride out, because there would be no instructors, no examiners, and no fiancés, all of which would tell me how to ride. It was just going to be me and the bike doing my thing.
Do you know what? It is actually really nice having a ride out with Anthony. He's so overprotective, and I'm sure there's a lot of people out there who can relate to this. I don't know, maybe you just started dating someone who started getting into bikes. They just kind of get a bit overly worrisome. So it's really nice to have this kind of like nice time to myself and just really enjoy it without Anthony pulling me over every 5 seconds and saying, "Oh, you did this wrong."
My second ride out was absolutely fantastic. It was, honestly, it was just so good. I went up into the hills, I just switched my sat nav off, and I just went zoom, zoom, zoom. And it was just, it was so good. I don't even have the words to describe how fun having your first big bike is. Like, when you have a 125, it's fun and it's great because you're on the road for the first time. But when you upgrade to a bigger bike, it's just the whole new realm of opportunities above 60 open up. It's amazing. And honestly, I'm so happy. And although this wasn't my original bike choice, I am super glad that Anthony talked me into it, because I really am just loving having this bike. And it is super comfortable for long distance as well. I will give him that. Although a sports bike does look cooler. But I just love it, and I'm just really looking forward to making more videos and getting out on the road more and just going to new places. And yeah, I've got an incredible year ahead of me, and it's going to be great fun. If you do like the content that I'm making, don't forget to drop a comment below, hit like and hit subscribe, and I'll see you next time. This is Lawyer in Levers, signing off.